Hey everybody, Claire here, and today I'm going to share with you 3 super easy make ahead to go lunches. So whether you're going to school or you have to get up early for work in the morning, or you are just a busy person on the go, it's always great to have lunch just ready in the fridge and you don't have to think about it. And for me, I really like lunches that are sort of light, easy. I honestly don't have to think too much about. Dinner is really like my big indulgent moment. So for lunch, I want something that keeps me fueled for the rest of the day. So my first recipe I'm going to show you is actually for a gazpacho, which is essentially a cold soup. I love gazpacho. It's so refreshing. And I think especially when you think about like juice cleanses and smoothies being the craze, it's funny, but gazpacho's basically like that. It's basically a smoothie. It just happens to be savory and vegetable based. So today for the gazpacho I'm doing, I wanted this to be very like fueling. So I wanted it to have some fats and definitely some protein as well, but it's still completely vegan. And so for that I have cashews. So I have about a half cup of cashews. If you want them to be super creamy and smooth, soak them in water the night before. And then I have like basically 1 can, so about like a cup and a bit of coconut milk. So the other flavors I have going on here are basically 2 Japanese cucumbers that I peeled and then wedged up. I have a pint of cherry tomatoes. I have half of a fennel bulb that I thinly sliced. I then have half a jalapeno because I love heat. I have 1 lime juiced because the acid is necessary here. It really kind of cuts through everything and gives it this great pop. And then just a little bit of salt to season it. So it really is as simple as just combining everything and blending it. So first goes in my cucumber, cherry tomatoes, the cashews, fennel, jalapeno, lime juice, coconut milk, and then a couple big pinches of salt. You can always add more later. Great, so now I'm just gonna blend this together until it gets a really smooth consistency. All right, let's give this a taste. That's really delicious. What's really lovely about this too is that the longer it sits overnight, the flavors are really gonna develop together. There we go. So this probably makes, I'd say, enough for like 3 servings of gazpacho. So this one right here is enough for like 1 really light, quick lunch on the go. And you can definitely store up more of these for the week. This will probably last at least, I'd say 5 days in the fridge because it's completely vegan. There's nothing that's really gonna go bad that quickly in it. And it has really awesome flavors. All right, so this is gonna go in the fridge overnight until I'm ready to have it for lunch tomorrow. So this next recipe is super delicious. It also looks really familiar. So I have a crudite platter, which are raw vegetables, and I have them on a pretty platter because we're shooting a video and I want it to look nice. But if you wanted to pack this up for lunch, you just put all of these in just a little plastic container or a glass container and you're ready to go. The part that we're making is actually the dip. And chickpeas have a lot of great protein, they have fiber, they're very hearty. So hummus is actually a really good source of nutrition if you do want to just like get something to fuel you through the day. But I do think that it would be better to get even more protein in there and even more good fats because good fat really does make you feel full. So that's where the dukkah comes in. So dukkah is sort of like a spice blend that's really based on having awesome toasted nuts. So I have a combination of 2 tablespoons of pine nuts, 2 tablespoons of almonds, and 2 tablespoons of pistachios. And this is really the base of the dukkah, and it gives it this really wonderful flavor. As you can imagine, it's nutty, but it's also really rich, really delicious. I then have a tablespoon of ground coriander, a teaspoon of cumin. I'm gonna add just sort of salt to taste. I then have a 1/4 cup of tahini, which is actually sort of like sesame seed butter. It's like very, very finely ground sesame seeds. And then about a 1/4 cup of olive oil. So all this is gonna come together and make this really just hearty, rich, delicious dip. So it's gonna be fantastic with the raw vegetables. And all I have to do is kind of just, as you imagined, put it in my blender and let it go. So I'm gonna add, it's about a 1.5 cups of fully cooked chickpeas. I'm then going to add all of the nuts. I'm going to add the spices, the olive oil, the tahini, and for now just like a little bit of salt and pepper. I can always add more. A touch of lemon. All right. So I'm just gonna put the paste into a little bowl here. And you can see it's quite thick. If you want it to be a little bit looser, you can always add water, a little bit of olive oil, or you can add more lemon to it. And just as a finishing touch, some of the oil And that's it. My dukkah is done. So I'm gonna give this a taste because it looks beautiful and delicious. That's like a really hearty hummus. And what I love about this is that it's so adaptable. If you like this as your base, but you want something spicy, if you love garlic, if you want it to have herbs in it, you can kind of add anything to this and it's gonna taste fantastic. So I love this because you can really make it your own. And plus you get to pick whatever vegetables you like to go with it. So you can make this ahead of time. The dukkah lasts really well in the fridge. So this will last for, I'd say, up to like 2 weeks if it's kept in the fridge, contained, and it goes delicious with fresh vegetables. So the third to-go lunch is absolutely delicious. It is a green goddess dressing, and I love green goddess. And the cool thing here is that most green goddess dressing uses mayonnaise as the core. It's how you get it to be really creamy and rich. But today, I'm actually switching out the mayonnaise and doing avocado. So it's a really awesome source of good fat, and good fat is filling. So I'm gonna use avocado with just like a touch of olive oil to kind of give this a lot of creamy richness. I then have a tablespoon of tarragon vinegar, and then a ton of herbs. That's what really makes a green goddess green and really, really tasty. So I have 1.5 tablespoons of fresh tarragon. I have like about 1/4 of a green onion, but like basically the middle section of a green onion. I have a tablespoon of chives and then a tablespoon of parsley. And this is basically it. I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt to taste, but this is how I make the dressing. And then to build my salad, honestly, you can do whatever you want. Green goddess is great with a lot of stuff. But today I'm just gonna kind of do stuff based off what I had in my fridge, to be honest. So I have some baby kale, I have some thinly sliced fennel, some cherry tomatoes, some cucumber, and a little bit of walnuts. Once again, just to get some protein, more good fats, more fiber. It's all gonna be really filling and really hearty. So to make the dressing, it's really simple. I basically just combine everything in a blender together. So first goes in the herbs, the vinegar, the avocado, and then I'm gonna add the olive oil as I need to. All right, so let's get this blending. I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt to season it, and then a touch more of the olive oil just to loosen it up. This is so nice. So this dressing is meant to be quite thick, and it coats everything really well. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna just pour a little bit at the bottom. So I'd say it's kind of like to your taste, depends on how much you like to have in your salad. I probably would say like 3 tablespoons is more than enough. The cucumbers, followed by the tomatoes, then a nice handful of the fennel, and then let's do walnuts, and then ending with the kale. So I'm just gonna smush this down because when you release it, it's gonna kind of puff back out. And then I'm just gonna put the lid on top. This is like a fun little weck jar. You can use any large jar or honestly any container you like. So the reason why I layered it this way specifically is because this is actually gonna last a good time in the fridge. So by doing the dressing on the bottom, followed by a lot of the heartier vegetables and ending with the lettuce on top, it basically means that I'm never going to sort of get the lettuce soggy. So, because you don't want this to be like a soggy, damp mess, that would be very sad for a lunch. But this way you get a crisp, delicious salad no matter what. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to make these lunches to go. These are some of my favorite, just super easy, fun, make ahead recipes. So let me know what other types of recipes you guys would like to see in the comments, and like the video if you like it. And for recipes like this one, make sure to check out my blog, The Kitschy Kitchen. Otherwise, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day. Bye.